Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, and with me, well, actually not with me, is Gator. He is currently sitting next to me with his headphones on the table as he eats a sweet potato. He's eating a baked sweet potato instead of taking part right now. We had all the time in the world for him to eat, but he decided this was the moment that he was going to eat a sweet potato. So I told him I was just going to go ahead and get started, and he can jump in when he's prepared. So anyway, today on the show, we are going to be smoking the Micallef Grande Bold Sumatra from Micallef Cigars.
Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather.
So the Grande Bold Sumatra features an Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper, a broadleaf binder, and Dominican and Nicaraguan filler. We are going to be smoking the 6x60 Grande Bold, and it's a slight box press. Oh, look who decided to join us.
You ready to start?
Anyway,
that sweet potato was good.
I'm glad.
I was feeling peckish. I needed nourishment.
Okay. Anyway, the end times.
The sad part is, I really was eating a sweet potato.
No,
no one will believe that.
No, you really were eating a sweet potato. You had a half a baked sweet potato, and anyway.
I grilled that up over the weekend, and it was tasty.
All right. Well, anyway, so now that I've gone ahead and described the cigar.
Oh, what are we smoking?
You son of a bitch. Anyway, well, it's now time for the official cutting of the cigar, and that's brought to you by Riverman Cigar Company out of Crestwood, Missouri.
We love Dan.
Dan Ponder over there at Riverman Cigar Company. Now, I will say, normally this would be the point that I would point out that Riverman Cigar Company has late hours in their lounge where you can go and have a cigar kind of later in the evening and hang out and enjoy the place and enjoy your smoke. But unfortunately, like many of the cigar lounges and brick-and-mortar locations in the United States, Dan and Riverman had to go ahead and shut down this week due to edict by the St. Louis County. So we want to put Dan and Riverman, as well as all the other brick-and-mortar stores that are suffering during this period of time, in our thoughts, and we really want to encourage everyone to support them in any way they can. There's a lot of brick-and-mortar stores that are still offering curbside pickup, to-go kind of thing.
And these guys run on such a tight margin.
Precisely, and so it's important that we go ahead and support them in any way, shape, or form. But
they're going out on the limb to provide a service for us. We got to look after these guys.
But Dan said that he wanted to do the right thing for his customers and his employees and his community, and he feels as though that as it relates to the latest county order, that it was better to go ahead and suspend operations than to try and keep going and everything like that. But
yeah, I get it.
So anyway, something to point out.
But when they open back up, get into Riverman and support them.
Precisely, because they have dude, they've got cigars there from $3 to $100.
Mm-hmm.
They've got that Unicorn by Steve Saka in there, but then they have the budget cigars that are as low as $3 a piece. So they've got everything for every budget, and I think it's important that
just a good selection in between.
Yeah. So once they get going, we highly encourage people to stop by Riverman Cigar Company in Crestwood, Missouri. So it's now time to go ahead and cut the cigar. I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Okay.
And I'm going to go for the straight cut this time.
I'm going for the V, my friend.
You're going for the V. I'm going to go ahead.
Big fan of the V.
Oh, Lord. We're going to go there, huh?
It's a V cut.
So this is a Micallef
cigar. You always
cigar.
have to make it weird.
Anyway, this is a Micallef cigar. And we're going to get into a lot of information about Micallef cigars on this episode.
Can I point something out, an observation out of the gate?
What's that?
It's a box press.
It is a box press. It is. When I selected this, I knew that it was going to be one of those ones that you were going to take some pride in pointing that out.
I just did. Oddly enough,
I wanted to try.
Did you ever notice this looks like a Pac-Man?
You point that out every week, actually. When you
Have I said that before?
Multiple times. So, anyway, Micallef is a relatively new company. I think they've been around maybe 4 or 5 years. But they've done a really great job of reaching out to the consumers. They have an
You have
ambassador.
something in your hand there.
They have an ambassador program, and you get this sweet little challenge coin. And I'm ambassador number 3910. So I'm significantly lower in rank than.
I want a coin.
Well, you can go on their website and you can sign up and you can get a coin.
Oh, that's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
Okay.
It's really simple. So
you have to do it for me.
You
know me with online.
I know you on online. So why don't we go ahead and
let's fire this bad boy
the
up.
cigar going.
Okay, hold on. The cold retro and the cold retro hail. You ready?
The goddamn cold retro. Well, I'll say this on the cold draw.
Okay.
Kind of coffee, maybe.
I'm getting sweet potato.
Well, of course you are, you son of a bitch. Oh my!
Taste anything else but the baked
God!
beans.
All right, fine. You know
sweet
what?
Potato I ate.
I'm lighting up because you
didn't do the retro.
I'm not doing your stupid cold retro.
Oh, there it is.
We've been making fun of your cold retro on the live things.
It works. I mean, not after you eat baked beans and a sweet potato while you're waiting on your buddy to get off the phone. I want to point that out. Nick was on the phone.
Was on the phone, but I got off the phone.
Right as I dug into my sweet potato.
Right as you opened up and dug into your sweet potato. So
it was really good. I put it on the grill. That's the way to do it.
I mean, you couldn't have possibly waited just a little bit.
It would be like an hour.
Had a post-show sweet potato.
Oh no, I got the other half for later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the celebratory half.
I'm rationing it out for the end times here.
I gotcha. Oh Lord.
You'll eat half a sweet tater at a time. Do you ever hear that joke about the pig? I think I've told that on here, haven't I?
Joke about the pig.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, if I've told this before, I apologize to the listeners, but the bishop does not remember if I told this. So this guy comes walking up to a farmhouse one day, and he sees this three-legged pig running around. And he looks at the salesman, or he looks at the owner of the farm, and he said, what's going on with that pig? And he goes, dude, I got to tell you about that pig. That pig is just miraculous. He said, well, what's the story with the three-legged pig? And the farmer says, well, about a year and a half ago, we had a fire in the farmhouse. And he said that pig ran out of the barn, busted its way through the gate, and ran into the house, woke us all up, and saved our lives. We came down, we got the fire put out, but we'd have all died. We were all upstairs asleep. And he goes, okay. He goes, but that still doesn't explain what's going on with the three-legged pig. And the farmer says, well, okay, let me tell you this. So my son fell into the well, and we didn't know where he was, and we couldn't find him. And that pig ran over, got us, drug us back to the well, and showed us where our son was, and we were able to get him out of the well, and we saved his life. And it's all thanks to that pig. And the farmer says, but it still doesn't make any sense. Why is the pig only got 3 legs? The farmer says, well, so that pig was out one day running around in the lot, and it came over and it got me, and I could just tell something was wrong. And the next thing I know, I look up and I see that there's a tornado coming, and that pig warned us about that tornado, and we were able to get down in the cellar. We brought it down with us, and that pig saved our lives a 3rd time. And the salesman goes, okay, the pig's great, I get that. He goes, but why has it only got 3 legs? And the farmer says, well, you don't eat a pig like that all at once.
Oh, my God. No, I don't think you have shared that joke on the show before. Anyway. Now that you've lit your cigar, what are you getting?
Sweet potatoes and baked beans.
You're such an ass.
What are you
You're
getting?
Such an ass.
I've completely blown out my palate.
Smooth retro hail. I just did that without coughing. I want that noted for the record.
Ooh, it is.
That is a smooth retro hail.
That is. Boy, it's smoking nicely. Good cigar.
It's got...
It's a double band, too.
What would you say? A little hint of spice.
Yeah, I got something on the retro hail more.
It's a very soft spice.
Yeah.
It's not.
I've blown my palate out, so this isn't really fair.
It's a really soft spice. It's not a
It's not the punch in the gut I thought I was going to get from the Sumatra.
No, it's definitely a very subtle, very back of the palate kind of peppery.
I'm actually
spicy
starting
note.
to get some flavor notes now. I think I'm getting enough sweet potato out of my palate.
Get some coffee.
I have some coffee right there.
No, I get some coffee flavor from
Would
it.
you like some coffee?
No, I don't want any
Oh,
coffee.
okay.
No. That's what
Why do you keep asking for it if you don't want it?
I don't want it.
Oh.
I'm saying that. Never mind. Oh, Lord.
I'm starting to taste coffee on it.
It's because you just took a drink of coffee. Oh, my God.
So what's new?
So
We're social distancing, by the way.
we are. We
Yep.
are. I don't think we can touch.
Normally, Nick likes to get a lot closer
I don't
to me
think.
than this.
I don't think we could touch if we extend arms out. I don't think.
I'm not going to try, I'll tell you that.
You know,
Yeah, Nick just reached out to me all lovingly, and
it wasn't lovingly.
I shunned his,
You did
intentions.
shun me though. But anyway, no,
It was somewhat lovingly.
not much has been going on.
No.
It's been very
Spooky.
quiet. Well, I was just saying before the recording that for the last week, probably slightly over a week, I've just kind of felt like something's been off. Something's been wrong. Something's been not quite right.
Maybe the pandemic.
Well, okay. Yes, but that's not it.
Okay.
It's like I could process that was going on, and I could process that people are having to change habits, people are having to do different things, whatever else. But I just haven't quite felt right, and this is where we're going to go into black helicopter territory for a minute.
Oh God, it's normally me that does that.
It clicked like in the last 24 hours, just how oppressed and controlled we all are now.
I've been saying.
I know, but you're wacky, so I tend to not give you any credence.
Don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. I don't even know how that fits here, but I like saying it.
I just kind of it just kind of clicked that here we are, just blindly giving our leadership of all different levels whatever control and power they want.
There are cities in Illinois, Champaign just did this, where they declared some kind of disaster declaration, and they can literally curb gun sales and seize property.
Yeah. Turn off your electricity, turn off
Yes.
your water,
Yeah.
ration food. I mean, this is the city mayor, for God's sakes. This isn't even like the governor or anything. I mean, I don't know. And the Atlantic, the magazine, The Atlantic, they just had an article talking about how a lot of world leaders have been using this as an excuse to, perform power grabs. And the question becomes, are they going to give it back when it's all said and done?
No.
And I am starting to really kind of get a little, I don't know, I just feel antsy.
I get it.
I feel...
That's how I feel all the time.
Constricted.
Yeah.
And kind of confined and controlled.
That's how I feel
And
all the time. Now do you get it?
I'm not digging it.
This is why I'm like this.
I'm not digging it. No, this is not why you're like this.
Oh yeah, I'm always on edge, man.
You're like this for a lot of
You
reasons.
got to keep your head on a swivel when you find yourself in a vicious pandemic.
So anyway, now I will say the one thing that I have discovered throughout this pandemic.
Got some robins mating in the yard there. I don't know if everybody caught that.
Yeah,
they were very, very loud.
They were very loud, making eggs.
Yeah,
Anyway,
making eggs.
Corona.
Yeah.
That's my new thing. Every time I cough, I just say Corona. Mostly just because here's the thing.
We were coughing before coughing was cool.
That's what I was just about to say. I smoke cigars.
I stole your joke.
You did, you son of a bitch. I smoked cigars, and I was coughing before coughing was cool. But yeah, so no, I just say Corona afterwards. But nah, it's the one thing that I've discovered throughout this whole pandemic and being trapped at my house and everything like that is the fun of going on Instagram Live.
Oh, dude. I sat in with you for a while.
No, this has been fun.
I know you're having a good time.
I went in.
He tried to get me to do it with him.
I did one with Jen, and I did one with Dave from Martinez Cigars, and I did one with Matt Tobacco from the Ashholes. And, you just get comments and, people interacting with you. It's so much fun.
Yay.
I don't know. I like it. So
it was fun. It was fun going on and, kind of needling you here and there, in the comments. But, yeah, that's a lot of time.
what else do you have to do? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm fortifying the bunker.
Sit and eat sweet potatoes.
That was a good sweet tater.
Anyway.
What you do, the key is you put a little sea salt on it, then wrap it up in the tin foil and later I can make a hat out of that. So
God.
You put it on the grill and you cook it skin side down, flip it over into the middle, and then flip it back to the skin side. And that way you get it cooked all the way through.
Oh, there you go.
That's the key. Because you don't mind if you burn the skin side. So you cook it twice.
Okay. Why don't you mind if you burn the skin side?
Because I'm not eating the skin.
There's so many vitamins and nutrients in the skin, though.
You can have my skin.
I don't want your skin.
You want a skin?
No.
You do, don't you?
I really don't.
You kind of do. Do you want a sweet potato? I got an
No,
extra.
I don't want a sweet potato. God.
I'll hook you up.
I don't need a sweet potato. Anyway.
Nick never wants to cook anything that I make. And I'm a good cook.
Why do I have to cook it again?
Or, I'm sorry, did I say cook? You never want to eat anything that I cook. And I'm a good cook.
I mean, I'm sure you are, but I'm just saying you always offer me food either after I've eaten or at weird times. Like, for example, now, here we are just randomly sitting here and recording, and you're
5
just
o'clock,
like,
I needed a
hey,
snack.
You want a sweet potato? Oh, it's your pre-dinner snack.
Exactly.
I get you. Okay.
Oh, you should tell the magic bag story.
Corona. That took me a minute. So I had an employee at my office, no longer with me.
Well, she didn't die.
No, she didn't die. She just went off to another job.
No longer with us.
I didn't say no longer with us. I said no longer with me. Anyway, she's no longer with me, and she had a habit of bringing in McDonald's. Now, mind you, she worked. I mean, she was on paper from like 2 to 6.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was an afternoon shift. And so we kind of always thought she would have had lunch before she came in, and she would have left and then gone to dinner. But she always brought in a bag of McDonald's. And we started calling it the magic bag of tricks because she would just reach in this bag and always have another food item. It's like one day...
I witnessed this, folks. It was great.
One day...
It was like Jesus with the loaves and fishes.
It really was. It was like cheeseburger, eat the cheeseburger, reach in the bag, cheeseburger, eat the cheeseburger, reach in the bag, cheeseburger, reach in the bag, eat the cheeseburger. I mean, it was just constant. So, like, one day, I finally decided I was going to get up, and I went over to the garbage can after she left, and I got the McDonald's bag out.
That, by the way, is weird in and of itself, but I like it.
We looked at the wrappers, and there were 6 cheeseburger wrappers in this bag. Okay? 6. And I did the math on that and determined that she'd already eaten her daily allotment of calories just in her afternoon snack of 6 cheeseburgers.
Well, didn't you say that she didn't want her mom to know?
And therein lies the second thing, is one day we were talking about her McDonald's, and she said that she would
also do it with the breakfast burritos, too.
Well, we'll get to that in a second. She kept this a secret. She kept her McDonald's runs a secret because her mom, she was living at home, and her mom would be so angry at her to know that she was eating all this McDonald's before she went home and had the dinner that her mom had prepared.
Good grief. And this girl's fairly young.
Oh, yeah. She's, mid-20s.
Oh, man.
And just ravaging herself with food, man. Because she would eat a nice, healthy lunch.
Which is fine.
I'm not saying a healthy lunch. I mean healthy as in portion size.
Oh, okay.
She'd eat a nice, hearty lunch.
Hearty, okay.
Hearty, maybe. That's a better word. And then, we'd have the 6 cheeseburgers. Plus, of course, I keep forgetting about the Micallef coffee frapple, whatever the hell shake thing that she freaking had.
Yeah.
And, then she'd go home and have dinner. Then there was the other time that we checked the bag, and that's when it was 2 double cheeseburgers and 4 breakfast burritos.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So,
and
anyway.
that was just the midday snack.
That was just the midday snack.
Wow. The magic bag.
She got really pissed off at Subway one time, and I can't remember what that was all about, but it amused me greatly to hear her complaining about Subway.
I think I remember that. It was something about the attendant, or they didn't give her something she wanted, or I forget. Yeah, I forget what
I don't remember what it was.
the deets were.
It was really funny. It was really funny.
So what are you getting on your stick?
I'm still getting the peppery kind of back taste. It's very subtle, but but that's actually standing out to me more than perhaps anything else. So I don't know.
The retrohale spicy now.
Subtle, but coffee.
I'm still not getting the coffee.
Flavor.
But maybe, yeah, well, let's be honest. I'm drinking coffee, so that's going to be harder for me.
Well, anyway, this is a cigar by Micallef, and I enjoy a lot of Micallef cigars. You know, you and I had the Micallef Medallia on the show earlier this year, and I enjoy the Grande Bold Maduro quite a bit. This is the first time smoking the Sumatra, and I like it. So
yeah, it's got a good flavor to it. I'm not the biggest Sumatra guy, but I can take them or leave them. But this is a good cigar. It's well constructed.
Yes, it is. Oh no, dude,
it's a solid cigar.
My burn line is like razor tight, and it's nice and even, and the ash is holding together really, really well.
It amazes me though on that retrohale. I've done about 4 of them now. How smooth that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's impressive.
Yeah, there's my second one, and I didn't cough.
Yeah.
Amazingly.
I know, right?
So, well, why don't we go ahead and get into the interview with Dan Thompson. He's the president of Micallef Cigars. And
that's awesome.
We talked a little bit about not just the company, but the ambassador program and kind of their outreach on that front. And then also some of the things that they're doing as a company to reach out and interact with and bring a little entertainment into the lives of consumers that are kind of trapped at home due to quarantine and whatever else. And so why don't we go ahead?
God knows we need that now.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. So why don't we go ahead and get into that interview? Well, we're joined today by Dan Thompson. He's the president of Micallef Cigars. Thank you very much for taking time today, Dan.
Hey, Nick, how are you doing? It's great to be with you.
Yeah, great to have you. I know I've smoked a number of Micallef cigars. I'm actually ambassador number 3910, although I won't point that out to Rob because I'll never hear the end of it. And, but no, we're a big fan over here at the show, so we're happy that you were able to come on.
Nick, I am so glad to hear that we got invited to come speak with you. I just lit up a Medallia for this conversation.
Is it the Toro?
So I'm ready to roll.
Is it the
Toro? Of
Toro?
course it's a Toro. That's the best one.
Well, see, now I'm going to weigh in on this because I know, Rob, over at Cigar Talk, and you have this little debate about what is the proper size, and I'm with you. The 46, for those that enjoy it, that's great. It's a little too small for me, so I'm all in for the Toro.
You know what's funny? In theory, that would be my favorite cigar, size-wise. But the blend and the way the notes just come out on the Toro, I love it.
There you go.
So I just respectfully disagree with Rob and Sam, who works for us every day in our media.
That's awesome. Well, so I wanted to get into Micallef a little bit. Now, I would think that a lot of my listeners are familiar with Micallef, but I wanted to get started on 2 points. First, if you could just kind of briefly touch on maybe the history of the company a little bit, but then also you guys released a letter back in January that was in the spirit of full transparency, a letter to your retail partners and consumers and everything about the plan for the company going forward. If you could touch on that as well, that would be great.
No, I'd be happy to. We're blessed that many people have discovered Micallef Cigars, and I'd like to share with you just a moment about Al Micallef, who's the founder and launched it 3 years ago. Al is a serial entrepreneur and has businesses in several different industries. But the one thing that's common throughout, they're all very successful, but they're all done in partnership with people. Al and I both believe that it's incredibly important to find the right people when you set up a business, and then let's focus on the quality and service that we can bring to our friends who consume that product, whether it's restaurants or silicone or cigars. We're active in all those businesses, but we want to do it with people so that we have great products. In that vein, Al met the Gomez Sanchez family on what kind of was a coincidence, and had some cigars rolled. I don't know if you've heard the story.
No.
So he was at our favorite lounge here in Texas, and I was with him. and some people came in and asked if they could roll cigars and sell them to us. And Al got to talking to them and decided maybe they could roll, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000 cigars. Well, that cigar that they first blended became what's known as the Reserva today.
Wow.
And as Al began working with the Gomez Sanchez family, who are great blenders, but they never had the resources to really scale up and launch a company, thought that it would be good to enter a partnership so that the marketing and the sales, we run that out of the U.S. We own our factory in Nicaragua, and the Gomez Sanchez family help blends and ensure the quality of the products. So it's really a great entrepreneurial story about working with others to build products that people love.
That's great. That's great. Getting into the letter from January, can you kind of
Sure.
tell us a little bit about some of the points in that letter and maybe some of the commitments that Micallef as a company made?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. You know, I came on board as the president last October, and I had been on the outside director of the board of Micallef Cigars. And one of the things that we realized is that we were no longer a startup company. And we began to think about how do we operate in a way that customers who buy our product, they know they're going to get a beautiful, traditional, handcrafted, Cuban style cigar on a constant basis. And how do our retail partners, how do they know how to count on us and make sure that we do business in a way that's great to do business with them? So we decided an open letter was the way to do it. And we made 3 sets of promises because we thought, hey, our goal is to be a top 10 partner with every brick and mortar that we work with. And that's big and that's ambitious, but as a family-owned business, we can set big goals. And so we laid it out in 3 areas. We said, what can we promise our retailer partners? What can we promise consumers? And what can we do for the industry? And, I'm happy to walk through any of those in whatever order you'd like.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you just want to start in sequence and we can just kind of
Sure.
go through those, yeah, that'd be great.
Sure. So we realized that when we started the company, we sold cigars to anybody who would buy them because that's what you do when you start up. But as we've gotten experience in the industry, we know that our primary business partner is the brick and mortar retail store. We love those guys because they're the ones who provide the environments that we can smoke and enjoy. They're working with the local governments. It's ground zero for making the cigar industry work.
Definitely.
So now our whole strategy is around how do we support the brick and mortars? And what we've been able to do, as an example, is we just launched a cigar called the Micallef To Be Named. And
I wanted to get into that. So, no, this is great. So, okay.
So let's do this. Let's talk about the retailers and the consumers, and then we'll tie it together because it shows that we're executing on our promises and we're having a lot of fun while we do it.
Gotcha.
So with our retail partners, we definitely want to be the people that they know have their back. We have an incredible inventory in our distribution center here in Texas. When we bring retailers in, they're amazed at the inventory that we have on the shelves because we never want them to be in a position where they're on back order. We are ready to make sure that if you're a retail partner, that product is available for you anytime that you want it. Second, we wanted to think about how we could build business models with retail partners where it helps both of us grow our profits. We don't see it as we just wholesale it and walk away. Rather, what can we do? And we're humble and we're learning from our retail partners how to be a great manufacturing company and distributor with them. And the third thing that we talked about is internet sales. And that's kind of a hot subject for a lot of people, but it's important that we're clear. Not every Micallef customer has a brick and mortar. So we're going to work with our existing brick and mortars on solutions to make sure that Micallef customers can buy product either directly from shops. And then in the future, we're going to do some consolidation of online internet sales to make sure that the price protection exists so retailers don't have it being discounted out under their feet.
No, that's
so
great.
It's a real focus on the brick and mortars and making them successful because they provide the environment and the heart that allows us to smoke cigars all over this country. and we love them for that.
No, that's great. That's great. So getting into the to be named cigar, kind of let's talk about that
Yeah,
project and
absolutely.
kind of how that came about and how that's going.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that we began last year was the Micallef Ambassador. And I know a lot of your listeners are actually ambassadors, and we love them. And one of the things that we do is we have a private Facebook group where they post, and we do a lot of conversations around different topics. We actually kind of have a monthly business meeting with them where we talk about what we're working on and we get their feedback. So when we got ready to launch the cigar that's now called the Micallef Maduro to be named, we wanted to do it on the first anniversary of the ambassador program.
Okay.
So we launched it, and it's called To Be Named because it didn't have a name on its band. We shut down our supply chain in Nicaragua, and we said, what we're going to do is we're going to let the ambassadors smoke this product, and they're going to make recommendations and vote on what we should call it.
Okay.
And it's been a hell of a lot of fun, but it's not an easy thing to do because we still got to make boxes and bands and UPC codes.
Oh yeah.
But Nick, I got to tell you, something happened that we just never expected.
What's that?
We sold out in 36 hours.
Oh my gosh. I have seen in the ambassador group, there's guys like, I need to get my hands on some. How can I get my hands on some? So yeah, so I guess that I
mean,
figured it was popular. I didn't expect it to be 36 hours popular.
and all the credit goes to the hard work the sales team has done working with retailers, brick and mortars, and building trust and confidence because we didn't even sample the cigar to anybody.
Really?
And it sold out in 36 hours. And so we were just like honored and flabbergasted that people were willing to take a bet on us. But we had done some homework with some brick and mortar partners on setting the price, making sure that they understood that, it was an honor of the ambassadors and that we were naming it. Based on what we know today, we'll have a name. Voting will come to an end in about the next 7 to 10 days. And I'm expecting to have banded product here in July, unless world events delay us. But that's the situation we're all living through together.
I was going to say everything's on hold theoretically, so yeah.
It is on hold, but I want to talk about what we're going to do because we think we can do something special for the ambassadors.
Okay.
While it's on hold.
Okay.
I don't know if it's resonating with you, but we love our ambassadors.
Oh, definitely. No, that's one thing that is very clear with your company, and is that you guys really do take a firm role in interacting with, I say the consumer, but in this case we're talking specifically about the ambassadors. You guys interact with us in the Facebook group, and it's not just you. I mean, it's a lot of the upper management and higher ups over at the company. So I mean, it gives the ambassadors a real pipeline and a real direct line to the top and be able to express their views and opinions. So that's great.
Yeah, if you could see the conference room that we work in, so it's really cool to have a cigar company because we got a conference room where we can smoke. And that's a pretty good lifestyle.
Yeah.
Well, in that conference room, we've got a very large TV on one end, and we actually pin Facebook posts. And in our meetings, we go through and we review those, whether it's on the manufacturing side, on the marketing side, on the sales side. We actually go through those. And many of the polls that we post, you're actually helping run the business with us as an ambassador.
See, that's the beauty of, as somebody, I have a small business, and so it's one of those things that I look at this, and we've done focus groups here at my business before in the past, and so I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking, this is a brilliant strategy on your part, because not only, do you guys engage your consumer and really have them come in with a sense of a small sense of ownership in the company, which is vital, for engaging them. But at the same time, using is not necessarily, I don't mean in a negative way, but it's brilliant because you're almost using the ambassadors as your own ongoing regular focus group.
Yeah, and yes, we absolutely. It could be just a focus group, but it's grown to be so much more because the relationships then begin to transcend just a bulletin board where you're getting focused data. You know,
Yeah.
the friendships and the fellowships, and that's what's so unique about the cigar community is we like to get together and we like to have conversations. And somebody could be on the right hand side of the political spectrum and somebody on the left, but they get drawn together and get to have great conversations while we enjoy cigars.
Definitely,
And
definitely.
and I think that's very important for us as a country and where we are right now. And seeing that happen in the ambassador community, I got to tell you, I was humbled. We had two truck drivers make post, and they were talking about the supply chain problems in America right now. But they loved it that they had people who were ambassadors that were saying, "Hey, we got your back. We really appreciate you're out on the road. You're not at home. Thank you for what you're doing." And it's really cool.
Oh yeah, no, and that's the thing. I don't mean to make it sound like it's just a business focus group. I mean, it's obvious to anybody who's in that Facebook group that it is a solid community, and to it possibly another extent, even like a Micallef family. So no, I mean it is great how everybody
No,
interacts in such a great way.
yeah, for me as a leader, it's allowed us to we get business benefits in terms of the feedback, like you're calling a focus group.
Yeah,
People tell us where they want their brick and mortars to have cigars, so it helps our sales team. But then it's also just created a lot of friendships and community.
which is great.
Um, Nick, do you mind if I take a minute and just talk about the kind of the events with coronavirus and everybody being in quarantine and what we're thinking about and going to do as a Micallef team?
No, I think that'd be great. I think that'd be great because people are trapped in their homes right now, and I think anything that you can do to help them out, I think would be great.
Yeah, it's actually really funny. Yesterday, we finished setting up for Al Micallef at his house. We've converted his garage into a lounge for him.
Well, you can come on over to my house when you're all packed up and done with that project. So
I got to tell you, he probably has better inventory than most
I
garages,
would imagine so.
and we're calling it the Maltese Falcon Lounge because he's from Malta.
That's awesome.
So we're trying to figure out how to make the best out of quarantining and small groups. And so the team met with me on Monday, and they felt very strong about trying to go big with some ambition. I'm not sure if we're going to get it right, but I'm going to tell you what we're doing.
Okay.
The team was disappointed that there's no March Madness this year. I mean, everybody loves their bracket.
Yeah.
And so Sam and Andy, who's our national sales director, they are going to bring to the Micallef ambassador community Micallef Madness.
Okay.
It's a bracket that we've developed of our different cigars, and we're going to do some head-to-head smoking of different blends and sizes and see if we can arrive as a community as to what's the best Micallef cigar this year.
Oh man. So wait. Let's stop and think about this for a minute. Are you guys breaking this down by size as well?
We're into Viatolas. I'm
Okay.
not sure if it's going to be a 48 or 42 bracket.
No, this is perfect because what this does is this allows the ambassador community to go ahead and weigh in on this Toro versus what not the 46. What is the other name?
Yeah, it's the 6x46.
Yeah, the 6x46. So this allows the ambassador community to weigh in on the debate between you and Rob as to which is the better medallia.
Well, and Sam is on Rob's team, and then all of a sudden Amanda Micallef, who's our marketing vice president, she has popped up her head, and she's like, "I like the 4x46." She goes, "It's the perfect size medallia," and so now we're having a three-way debate.
Oh, this is perfect. This is perfect.
So, think it's going to be a lot of fun, and the team's working on the details, but it appears that we'll be able to publish the bracket. People be able to pick their winners just like an NCAA bracket, and then we'll run a contest to see who has the best bracket out of every ambassador. So not only do we pick the winner in terms of the Micallef portfolio today, but the ambassador with the best bracket will be rewarded with a prize.
Perfect.
So that's one thing. Second thing is we want to bring some retailers into the ambassador community and do some virtual HERFs. And so our salespeople are going to work with some retailers. We actually have brought in some new video conferencing software. We're going to have some ambassadors where we can stream it out live through Facebook, but we can have conversations from our patios, our garages, wherever we are, and actually start reconnecting as a community.
That's fantastic. I've done a few video herfs with the Barrel Burners group, and it's a lot of fun sitting there and interacting with folks from all over the country at the same time.
You know what? I may follow up with you after this. I would love to hear how they do it and see if there's any lessons that we could learn.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we just want this to be something fun and a way for us to connect and enjoy the time in this unusual circumstance.
Definitely.
So there's one more thing that we're going to do, and I think it's going to be very interesting. But we've begun asking people from across the cigar industry to join us in interviews. And what we'll be doing is 1 hour a day. I think we'll be able to do it every day. We'll have somebody from the cigar industry. They'll be from other companies. They may be from cigar media. But we're going to sit down and have some interviews about what's going on. And really, I'm hoping, since we all smoke different brands, I mean, I smoke primarily Micallef. I'm the president and I love it. But, I have my other go-to smokes. We want to bring some of those in and talk about the brands that we enjoy in the state of the industry. So I'm hoping it's going to be a lot of fun to have the interviews where ambassadors can ask questions and participate in that also.
No, that's fantastic. I mean, I like that a lot because, one of the things in the industry is we all need to stick together. For a lot of different reasons, be it the FDA or whatever else, we all need to stick together. And it's nice that there's a company that is confident in their product enough to then turn around and say, hey, we'll bring in some other guys with some other interviews, and here's some other cigars that you might like and enjoy.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And it's not just confidence in our product. I mean, we actually respect and admire the people that we're going to be bringing in with us.
Yeah.
We're a new company that's in the industry of all the people who've gone before us who have created this, and we're very humbled by that. We think that we're going to have a very unique product that people are going to love with the Micallef brand on it, but we respect the people who've been in there with us before. That's why we want to do some things that are interesting in the industry, and we think by bringing other guests in from companies outside of Micallef, it just reflects real life.
Yeah.
And those are our friends too.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
that's awesome.
We're excited about it. The proof will be in the pudding. We'll see how it comes out. None of us are TV stars that have interview backgrounds for 20 years, but I'm thinking we're going to do some fun.
Nah, that'll be fun. I mean, it'll give people something to look forward to if they are trapped at home, or maybe they're maybe not trapped at home, but maybe they're on a temporary furlough or something like that. It gives them something to look forward to.
That's absolutely. And it's something that we can do together. And, if it's terrible, no problem, we'll can it. But let's just come back in that community and we'll come up with the next best idea and we'll go try that too.
Well,
I mean, it's
and if it's terrible, then they got what they paid for it. That's what I always say about this show. So anyway.
Well, you guys consistently have fun on this show. So
we do have fun. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I appreciate you taking some time to visit with me today, and especially in these unusual times. And we're excited that we can bring the cigar community together in some new ways. The Micallef Ambassador Program, we're going to do our part. We're excited about what Barrel Burners or other organizations can be doing, because it's really about helping each other through difficult times.
Definitely. So, where can people find out more about Micallef, and in turn, if they are not a member of the Ambassador Program, where can they find out more information about it and sign up for that?
Absolutely. You can go to MicallefCigars.com, and on that page, there's probably 3 or 4 things that people would find interesting. One is store locators, and we have a map, so if you're looking for them. 2, we have, if you want to join the Ambassador program, you fill out a form. And then once you fill that out, we send you a certificate and a coin, and then we bring you into our Facebook private group. And that's where we have most of the online interaction. And we have some people who don't do that because maybe they're just not into technology, but the majority of our interactivity occurs in that Facebook private group. And then the third thing is that our webpage definitely has the information on our blends and our sticks. So if you're looking and maybe you've had a medallion, you wonder what a La Crema, the wrapper, the binder, and the filler, all of that information is there for you too. Gotcha.
Well, Dan, thank you so much for taking time out. I know we did have to reschedule this interview from the other day because I was swamped and everything, and so I reached out to you and asked, hey, do you have time later this week to do it? And you graciously made some time in your schedule, so I really want to thank you for taking time out to speak with us today.
Hey, we're just delighted to be here, and however we can help you and your audience, we're all in and want you to be a giant success. So thank you very much.
All right. Well, thanks, Dan.
Well, Nick, that was awesome, man. Good interview.
No, Dan's a really nice guy, and I was really pleased that he was able to take some time to speak with me because we were originally supposed to talk on Monday of last week, but with my newspaper, it just got away from me with all the corona and everything else going on.
My corona.
It just got away from me really bad, and I had to reschedule. So thankfully, he was able to take some time and reschedule and talk to me from the car, sitting in a parking lot. So
there you go. Now I got to tell a quick story here. So last week, Nick, we're just randomly talking on the phone, and he says, "I've got this My Sharona song stuck in my head." And I'm like, yeah, that's because I say it every time you say Corona. And he realized then that I had planted this earworm.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. So.
My Corona.
Yeah. So anyway. So why don't we go ahead and get into our segment with Larry the Mute, where we talk about cheap cigars.
Dear God.
So Larry dodged the National Guard, was able to break quarantine and everything this week. He had to run across some borders to make it here, but he was proud to do so. And he wants to give us his review of the Swisher Sweet Peach. So, Larry, we'll go ahead and pass it off to you.
This is the dumbest thing we've ever done.
You're going to hurt Larry's feelings. He puts a lot of time and effort into these reviews.
He's mute. It's a podcast.
Doesn't mean he doesn't have a valid opinion. I'm just saying.
Okay, then.
Anyway. Well, thanks, Larry. We appreciate it.
What the actual hell is wrong with you?
I appreciate Larry's contribution to the show, and I hope that he continues to do so.
See, I think this is just an insight into the fact that everybody out there thinks that I'm the goofy one. But eyes are getting opened. Hamsters are getting on wheels. That's all I'm saying.
You created Larry the Mute. Anyway.
That's true, but I never intended anybody to hear about it.
Corona. Oh,
God.
Anyway.
We should do Ask the Boys.
We should. We have some technical difficulties, so we're going to have all of one question. But hey,
For some reason, Nick can't figure out how to get on the Wi-Fi.
At your house.
I don't know the password.
Anyway, we'll go ahead and get into our regular Tuesday segment, Ask the Boys. Well, anyway, as I was saying, we did have some technical difficulties, specifically the fact that Jeff can't remember the password to the Wi-Fi at his house. And so
You've had it in your phone before.
That doesn't mean it saves it. So, anyway,
I have a question for this week.
I can't open up the website to see if there's any questions.
You're all sleepy.
I was yawning. I can't open up the website to see if there were any questions.
Oh, little Nikki's tired.
Anyway.
Okay, so I have an Ask the Boys question that came to us via Facebook. And this is from our friend Robert Paulson, Polson.
Okay.
And he is from Westminster, Colorado.
Okay.
So, that being said, he asks the question, what other podcasts do you guys listen to? And he's especially interested in me, and I think it's probably just my delicate features, but he's especially interested in what I'm listening to.
Okay.
So, but I'm going to go ahead and let you start, because I hate to admit this, I'm not the biggest podcast listener. So I'm going to let you start with your podcast, and then I'm going to get into some of my stuff, because some of mine is actually more YouTube videos and things like that.
Okay. So on the podcast front, I listen to a number of them throughout the week. I listen to, obviously, Cigar Authority and The Ash Holes, Cigar Talk, and The Good Cigar. Those are my, cigar-related podcasts.
Yeah.
I also listen to Office Ladies because I like the...
I'm right there with you.
The back and forth between the two of them, and I like the behind-the-scenes information about the show.
It's about The Office.
It is about The Office. Yeah. And I also really enjoy the Steve Austin show.
You've talked about that one a lot.
Dude, I'll tell you what, man. Stone Cold Steve Austin, it's fascinating because, when he's got wrestlers on, obviously they're talking wrestling and, that kind of thing. But, they do 2 episodes a week. One's the new episode, and then on Thursday it's the Stone Cold Classic episode. So, the Classic episode this past week, he was interviewing David Lee Roth. And
that's funny.
Talking about stuff. And it's just, I don't know. I've been really entertained with the Stone Cold Steve Austin show. What else do I
How long has he been
to?
podcasting?
Dude, he's got 500 plus episodes. I mean, that
wow.
guy, he's been doing it for a while now. And then, what else do I listen to? Oh, the Snack Authority. I like the Snack Authority.
You've mentioned that as well.
It's only about 15 minutes, but they review snack items, new Oreos, candies, things like that. Oh, the Best of Car Talk from NPR.
Oh, you love Car Talk.
I love Car Talk.
You do love Car Talk.
Click and Clack, the Car Brothers.
There you go.
So
Click and Clack.
Yep.
That's a throwback. I haven't heard that for years.
Mm-hmm.
So, I, on the other hand, I'm going to list off some of the ones that our friend Robert Paulson, I hope I'm saying that right, Polson, Paulson?
I guess so.
Yeah. So, Robert listed off these. So he said for ham radio, he's apparently a ham radio operator. It's ARRL, the doctor is in, 100 watts and a wire. And then for prepper type things, which is apropos right now, he does a podcast called Forward Observer Dispatch, the Survival Podcast, Radio Free Rebout, Redo. How do you say that?
Redoubt?
Redoubt? I guess.
Radio Free Redoubt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Radio Free Redoubt, and that's REDOUBT. As far as whiskey, he likes to listen to Whiskey Cast. Gardening, Joe the Gardener podcast. And then outdoors, the first 40 miles, which that's a new one to me. And then HYOH Hammocks, which I've never heard of. Then he also listens to Cigar Talk, Cigar Authority, and The Pulpit.
Yay!
So he actually gave me a lot of good choices here because I'm not the biggest podcast listener. And if you're not going to a specific podcast or looking for a specific thing, you can get lost in the sea of podcasts. There are a lot of podcasts out there that you can listen to, which is why we really appreciate you guys listening to us. But one thing I wanted to mention is, like you said, I like to listen to The Office Ladies. I find that very entertaining. And I've actually gone back and listened to some of those 2 and 3 times because I catch things. And I like to put them on at night when I'm going to sleep. So I may miss the last half, so I have to replay it. And, but I like The Office, the TV show The Office. And I like listening to them talk about all the behind-the-scenes stuff. And they've had Creed on. Creed Bratton's an interesting cat.
Yeah.
He was in the Grassroots. And it's funny. There are several people on The Office that actually used their names as their character names. And I don't know how that came about. They haven't really talked about that. But Creed's Creed and, all these different people on there use, their names. Mm-hmm. It's really strange. which isn't something you see in normal shows. But I wanted to mention a couple of things that I like to go. I actually watch these, and they're on YouTube. I'm big into organic gardening. So, two of the people that I like to listen to, watch, / watch, whatever, is the urban farmer Curtis Stone. I really like Curtis Stone stuff. He's got this market garden up in Canada, and it's all about how he basically grows like this buttload of food on like a half an acre. And it's very, very interesting. And he's got, actually, let me look here. I can't see how many videos he's got, but he's got a ton. If you look him up on YouTube by the Urban Farmer or Urban Farmer Curtis Stone, you'll find him. And just amazing wealth of information. And the other gardening guy that I really love, his name is John Kohler, and he has a channel on YouTube. It's called growingyourgreens.com. And so if you type in Growing Your Greens on YouTube, it'll pull him up. And if you like gardening, you're going to love this guy. I mean, and he's a lot of fun. He's, big into organic food, big into a plant-based lifestyle, and he's very entertaining and very informative.
Well, there you go.
But those are a couple of the things I like to listen to. Now, I'm a terrestrial radio guy, so I listen to it back in the old days with Art Bell, and I still listen to it now with George Norrie, Coast to Coast AM. And, I'm kind of an insomniac, so I stay up late, and I love, love, love listening to Coast.
You will also play Coast to Coast throughout the night.
Yes,
when
I
you're
do.
sleeping.
I do.
And that was all sorts of fun as I'm splitting a hotel room with you, and I'm having to have Coast to Coast on as I'm trying to sleep.
That may have been why you woke up screaming.
That might have been why I woke up screaming, but
I don't think they were talking about anything, real, out there that night.
I don't think so.
But it's always fun. The Art Bell days. I mean, the old classic Art Bell radio. Did you ever listen to Art Bell, Nick?
Mm-mm.
Oh God, you should go back. There are some of his classic shows, like his Ghost to Ghost show. Yeah, Corona. His Ghost to Ghost shows and what. He'd have a field day with Corona, man. He'd be all in. But if you go back on YouTube or, there are places you can go listen to his old podcasts or his old radio shows on podcasts and different things. But if you go back and listen, this guy was smooth. And he knew how to work an audience with radio.
Well, there you go.
And he, and a lot of his listeners were truckers. Because they're up all night.
Mm-hmm.
And, he had this network of stations all across the country and just did an outstanding job. And the reason it was Coast to Coast AM wasn't the AM time slot. It was because he was on AM stations. Now, which is odd because now the Coast to Coast AM show is actually on an FM station here in the St. Louis area, 97.1.
Yeah.
But, if you get a chance, if you've never listened to Coast AM, I can't recommend it enough. After you've listened, to our podcast, of course.
Well, since you've pointed out YouTube, I just want to give a quick shout-out to Dad's Smoking Cigars and Cigars Daily, because I watched both their shows.
Well, there you go. So I think that was interesting. I'll tell you what, the other thing, if you've never gone, and I forget if it's on Netflix. Is it on Netflix? Delicia's show.
Cigar Vixen
show.
Her show is on Amazon Prime.
Okay. And she's got, six episodes?
I would say, she's got all of her videos on YouTube, but she did like an actual travel show, travel series, 6 episodes on Amazon Prime.
It was like the Anthony Bourdain of cigars.
With bikinis.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
I would not have, I loved Anthony Bourdain, God rest his soul, but I never wanted to see him in a bikini.
No.
And Delicia, if you're listening, the offer still stands. We'd love you to come on to the pulpit and talk with us. Because there's no better advocate out there for cigars than, Nick and myself along with you.
Oh, my.
Aw.
Anyway. Well, this has been Ask the Boys. If you want to submit your question for Ask the Boys,
hopefully Nick will be able to log in and get it.
Well, if somebody had the password to their Wi-Fi, we wouldn't have that problem.
It's in my phone. What do I need it for?
Anyway, if you have any questions for Ask the Boys, head on over to cigarpulpit.com. Use the Contact the Pulpit page, or a probably safer way of submitting a question, given Jeff's inadequacy of being able to have his Wi-Fi password, would be to just send a direct message to us through Instagram at either the Cigar Pulpit or at Naked Gator, NEKKID Gator.
And that would be my page. Now, while we're doing that, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody how they can reach out to us on all the other socials
We
there.
got to end the Ask the Boys segment first. We got to have the outro music. So hang on.
Let's outro. Okay.
Hang on a second.
Okay.
So now you want to get into the socials, huh?
Yeah, let's talk about the socials.
All right. So while we're on that subject, you can reach us through Instagram at The Cigar Pulpit or at Naked Gator, NEKKID Gator, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or obviously cigarpulpit.com.
Did we ever get that MySpace page back up and running?
Nah, that's dead.
No.
We're
Okay.
screwed on that. So.
Okay. That, those were the days.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do want to mention that if people go on, they can sign up for our monthly newsletter.
Yes, we have a free monthly newsletter that goes out at the end of the month / beginning of the month, and that is how you sign up for our weekly giveaways, which
It's time for the weekly
it's
giveaway.
Tuesday, which means it's time for us to give away some more cigars. So, yeah.
Is it still?
It is still Martinez
Martinez
Madness.
Madness.
Yep, it is still Martinez Madness. So we are going to go ahead and we're going to pick a listener from the list to receive a 6-pack of Martinez cigars.
Guys, if you haven't tried these guys, this Martinez cigars are so good. And they reached out to us. We had never heard of them before, and we tried a couple of them and just fell in love with these sticks. They're a great company.
Mm-hmm.
Can't say enough about them. They're based in New York City.
Yep.
Right down by Madison Square Garden, correct?
They're like a block or two from Madison Square Garden.
Wow, yep.
So it's right there in the heart of everything, and
You're going to thank us if you win these.
yeah, and they're a small boutique, but they're growing, and this is our way of kind of spreading the love and having people try their stuff. So this week's winner is Heath Brown.
Heath Brown, baby.
Heath Brown, you have until Monday to reach out to me with your mailing address and just let me know that you heard this and that you're the winner. And once you get those cigars in the mail, just go ahead and send me a picture of yourself with the cigars so that we can share them appropriately on the socials.
The social.
We like to let people know that, people are actually getting the prizes.
Yeah, we're not
that
just
we
making
win.
this up.
Yeah, we're not just making this up.
We're not McDonald's with the...
Yeah, we're not just pointing at names in the phone book and saying,
No.
that guy won.
That
and
guy.
then we'd never mail it.
It's,
So.
Yeah, it's not like the,
Actually, the other night
Monopoly game at McDonald's.
Yeah, the other night when we did the when I did the live stream on Instagram with Dave from Martinez Cigars, Wally came on the stream.
Oh, one of our winners.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's
and
awesome.
And he was talking about the flat iron that he smoked.
That was a
And
good stick.
That is a good stick. So
But the, I'm going to mess this up. The series 45?
45 series.
Yeah, the 45 series is great.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And
I just had one of those the other night.
Those were ours that we tried out initially and, kind of went into it blind and just went on the podcast saying, okay, we're going to give this thing a shot. Man, was it good.
Now, Dave has a surprise for you, Jeff.
Ooh.
He's mailing me something.
Oh, snap.
And he said that it was specifically for you to smoke on Naked Gardening Day.
Okay.
Because that's coming up the first Saturday of what, May?
First Saturday in May.
Yeah.
Do you see the garden here, Nick? We're on the back deck of the house.
I see the garden.
I will be naked in that garden.
Well, the point is, when you take your picture for Naked Gardening Day this year, he's going to have a special cigar for you to be smoking in that picture.
That seems a tad phallic.
Just saying.
To be smoking a cigar while I'm naked. I don't know if that's over the line.
I'm just saying.
That may be the one that goes on Instagram,
this is
not on Facebook.
This is the commitment that we have.
Because I've got people on. Now I put the naked gardening picture up on Facebook every year, but that's where all the business contacts and church people are.
Corona. Oh, I know, right?
Yeah. So if I'm gonna have a cigar while I'm naked gardening, that one may just go in the Instagrams.
Either which way.
Okay.
That's all right. The
I may have to take two pictures.
Point is, you're gonna have to smoke this cigar while you're doing your naked gardening. So, speaking of
Okay,
cigars, we haven't talked about the Micallef Sumatra here in a little bit.
It's a good stick, man. It's growing on me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm actually getting to where I can taste the flavors now. My fault, not the cigars.
I was going to say, Mr. Sweet Potato, right
pounded
before you
down
fucking had a cigar.
baked beans and a sweet potato. When I make my baked beans, by the way, do you ever make baked beans?
Mm-hmm.
Do you put whiskey in them?
Mm-mm.
Every time. I always put a little whiskey in them.
Okay, then.
I use some American honey in this with some chili powder. That's the way to go. Always mix in a little bit of sugar and some salt and pepper. Oh, yeah.
Hints of coffee and cocoa with a little backspice on the cigar. It's good, though. Nice and smooth.
Oh, no. This
The
is a smooth
retrohale
cigar.
is really smooth. This is a good cigar. Good draw. Great construction. That burn line's been razor tight the whole time.
Yeah, look at that. That's just perfect.
I know. I have nothing but good things to say
No, but
about this.
the box press on this I really like. I'm shocked that you chose the box press. I'm impressed. Impressed with the box press.
I force you out of your comfort zone. I figure once in a great blue moon, I can probably force myself out of one.
Is it? But why do you not like the box press?
It's the weird corners. Because, see, here's the thing.
You can still rotate it.
When you smoke a cigar, you have to rotate the cigar around a little bit because otherwise you end up where
Hot
one
spot,
side,
yeah.
hot spot. You know, maybe there's wind blowing on one side. Well, needless to say, that's going to cool that side, so you may end up with like canoeing going on or something like that. So you got to rotate the cigar around a little bit. That's so much easier with a round cigar.
Well, you just go in quarter turns.
Yeah, but it's just awkward. It's just awkward.
I don't know who
I'm
you
not.
are.
I'm just not a big fan of the box. Now, this is a very soft box press. That is one thing I'll say. It is box press, but it is a very soft box
and
press.
it's mainly squared off. It's not rectangular.
Yeah, it's pretty squared off. The edges are pretty soft. You know, it's not a very harsh box press. I mean, there's some of those My Fathers that you smoke.
Yeah.
That, I mean.
Oh, they're a rectangle.
Razor sharp edges on those things, man. So that's the thing. You know, I don't dig that. But
Fair enough.
yeah.
So I have to tell a story.
Okay.
Yesterday, we found out that a lot of the lounges in the area were closing.
Yes.
And I needed a bundle of quorums
Yes.
because when I drive, I smoke cheap. I admit it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll mix in. I may take a Perdomo or a My Father or a Leaf by Oscar. You know, I'll mix one of those in.
But by and large,
It's, you know, I'm smoking cheap when I drive.
Smoke it affordable.
When I can actually sit and relax, that's when I'll smoke a good cigar.
Yeah.
So, that being said, so I called over because I knew Nick. Nick had just left our good friend Dan at Riverman.
Yep.
And I was going to get some there. And he's like, oh, I'm already 10 minutes down the road. And I said, are you running by the hill? And he said, yeah, I'm going to stop by there for a minute.
That's where I picked up these Micallefs.
Exactly. So I said, let me call ahead and see if they can take my credit card over the phone because I'm going to grab a bundle of cigars because I don't know when they're going to have National Guard on the bridge, you know, keeping us from crossing into Missouri.
Okay.
Let's be honest. It's far-fetched, but is it? Is it? And so I called over to the hill. And I got a hold of our buddy Ryan, who's been on the podcast with us. Mm-hmm. Great guy. And he's like, oh, I'm going to have to check and see, you know, how to do that over the phone and all that. And I'm like, okay. So I went out to take care of something. And I was working with Addie doing something in the yard. We got her big wheel green machine thing out that she got, and she's running up and down. So I run back in and get my phone on the charger, and I've missed 5 calls.
Yeah, because in the space of time that you did that, Ryan figured out how to run your credit card, tried to call you back. You didn't pick up. Then I tried to call you back a bunch of times, and you didn't pick up. And I was literally getting ready to leave when you finally called back.
Now, so I realize, and I call back. And at that point, Ryan could not have been more pissed off.
Well, you know why? Because he encountered the Gator ignorance. Up until then, it was all cute because I always was the target of it. Why? At that moment, Ryan encountered what I live with.
I basically sucked him into my gravitational pull of stupid.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And he wasn't having it.
No, he wasn't having it.
He wasn't having it. So,
Love you, Ryan.
I'll tell you, though, you're worried about the National Guard blocking the bridge. Personally, you know why you ought to be more worried about going over to St. Louis?
Why is that?
The St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department apparently will limit their in-person responses to certain non-emergency incidents like larcenies, destruction of property, missing persons, thefts, or car break-ins. The department said officers will not respond in person if these crimes are not in progress and if there is no apparent suspects to pursue. The department said people who witness these crimes can call the police at the non-emergency line, blah, blah, blah. Then the scary paragraph. Officers will respond to violent crimes and incidents in progress, but people will be asked additional questions before a supervisor decides to send an officer to a scene.
What the hell?
Yes.
We're on our own, people.
I think it's getting danger close
Uh-huh.
to the point of being on our own.
Are you ready for on your own?
Depends on how many people I got to be on my own against.
Depends on how much ammo.
Well, I want to thank my neighbor across the hall, Frank, in my building. Frank,
Underwood?
no, he...
Costanza.
I wasn't going to give his last name.
Oh, okay.
Frank was kind enough, as we were talking, he learned that I have a certain type of firearm, and he was kind enough to give me a box of ammunition for said firearm because he had this ammunition but did no longer have the corresponding firearm.
Well, that's awesome.
I know. I was very appreciative of that.
It's
He also gave me an Opus X.
We got it. Well, that too.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I gave him a cigar. We had a cigar outside.
Well, that's awesome.
And he felt the need to respond
tell you
in
what,
kind, and he responded with a much nicer stick than I gave him. And
that thing
now
you
I
just
got to
read,
respond back. So
that thing you just read from the city of St. Louis is frightening. They're not going to respond to a missing person.
that was reported by the CBS, local CBS affiliate.
Oh,
in
Channel
St.
4,
Louis.
yep.
Yep.
Wow.
So that's where we're at now.
This is getting spooky, dude.
That's where we're at now.
Getting spooky. I don't want to talk about Corona anymore, but
I don't
you
either.
can't. You can't carry on a conversation without it coming up.
I know.
It's taken all the air out of the room.
Dude, that's the thing. That's why I feel controlled. That's why I feel like just controlled is the best and only way I can explain it.
Have you ever watched the movie Red?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I can't. It's a comic book
We
movie.
have covered this on this show before. No, I have never seen it.
I'm telling you right now, I am very, very close to becoming John Malkovich's character in Red.
Well, I'm not.
I haven't dug a bunker and hidden it, with a used car, but I'm getting very close. Danger close. Danger close.
I'm surprised you don't have a vehicle in your bunker.
Well, no,
You've been hyping up this bunker for years and years and years, but
it's not that impressive, but it's stocked.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's basically a basement, but it's stocked.
Basement. He's been selling me the dream of a bunker for years, and now all of a sudden, when it actually matters, now it's just a basement.
No, I don't want to give away too much. There is a bunker.
I'm feeling robbed here, people.
There is
really, really robbed.
There is a bunker, but I would have to transfer the things into it. The bunker is completely empty at this moment.
What good does that do you?
Well, no, all the stuff's there. It'll take an hour to move everything in if need be.
Because in an emergency situation, you can just tell the oncoming forces or whatever it is that's coming your way, hey, give me an hour.
Well,
I got to transfer my stuff.
Let's be honest. By the time they get through the major cities and to me on the little old farm, I'll have had an hour.
My.
Yep.
You're assuming they're not going to take the little areas first as staging ground to then assault the big cities.
I doubt my farm is going to be where they decide to stage. I mean, if they do, so be it.
I'm just saying.
But I just don't see that coming.
I'm just saying. So
next time you're with me, I'll show you the bunker.
I don't think we've done the My Monthly Cigars ad.
Man, you backed off of going in the bunker really quick.
I'd like to point out that My Monthly Cigars is a premium cigar subscription service. You can have the boxes sent to you every month to your door, which right now is a great way of getting cigars, given the fact that, most lounges are closed or whatever. So,
guys, when they open back up, you got to support them.
Exactly.
You got to go to Riverman. You got to go to your home lounges, wherever you are, and support these guys because they're going to need every bit of business they can get.
But in the meantime, you can go on over to mymonthlycigars.com And they have a variety of different box sizes. We get the Robusto box, which is 4 cigars for $30.
It's the Nick and Gator care package.
Additionally, they have a larger box, which is 8 cigars for $50. That's the Presidente. That's 2 of each of the cigars that's in the
Hoarding purposes.
Robusto box.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you can get them and hoard them. And if you go on there and use offer code PULPIT, PULPIT, that gets you either 20% off in their online store, which has a variety of different items, including cigars, but it also gets you free shipping on your first order.
There you go. And we are going to be smoking the final cigar from that box on Friday.
Yes, we are going to be smoking the Jacob's Ladder.
Oh, my God. I'm
with
scared.
With Nick Gervais. He's the owner
scared.
of MyMonthlyCigars.com. And he would...
Did you say Ricky Gervais?
No, I said Nick.
Oh, is he related to Ricky?
Again, we covered this, but you can ask him on Friday.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Okay.
And Nick would be a little upset with me if I was remiss in pointing out the MSRP guarantee, which states that the MSRP of all of the cigars in the box is guaranteed to meet or exceed the price of the box. I think the March box was what, like a $39?
$39.42 the month before. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you're getting your value, and he was telling me that the next couple of boxes, we're well into the 40s in terms of value for the next couple of months. So,
nice.
Yeah. In fact, one of them he said was danger close to like $50.
You know, the one good thing about a premium subscription service like this for cigars, it's basically like giving yourself a present every month because I'm excited to open it and see what's there.
Yeah, because sometimes there's little gifts. Like this month there was that coffee.
Yeah, we're going to brew that Friday.
Yeah.
We're going to have that.
February there were those little Ghirardelli squares,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because it was Valentine's Day. That was nice.
That was.
Yeah.
I still wonder if he's not related to Ricky somehow.
I doubt it.
Okay. I'm gonna dig into this. Folks, I'm going to get you answers.
Well, because that's the burning question everyone wants to know, is if a guy that was born in Massachusetts is related to Ricky Gervais.
It could happen.
Anyway.
Well, dude, I've enjoyed this cigar.
Yes, this is the Micallef Grande Bold Sumatra. I'm down to my final third here. Like I said, you know, I get the coffee, I get the cocoa.
I'm getting a lot of spice now on the back third.
Yeah, the pepper.
Yeah.
The pepper is increasing on the backside, you know. So,
but like you said, I've done several retro hails, and it is smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is not a harsh cigar by any means.
It's not in the least.
And it's a box press, so I'm happy.
I'm glad I made
Definitely would smoke this again.
Well, good. I'm glad of that.
How about you?
I would smoke it again. Be better if it were round.
Oh, my God.
We'll have to get you hooked up with the Micallef Ambassador program, get you your number.
I need my coin.
That way you can have a higher number than mine, and I can rub it in that I have a lower number than yours.
Wow, that's hurtful.
I'm just saying.
It's hurtful.
Just saying.
Well, brother, it's been a cast.
It has. One show note regarding the podcast. So, obviously, with the ever-increasing changes day to day as things go, we're not entirely sure how long Jeff and I are going to be able to physically be in the same space recording.
We are social distancing.
Recording together,
yeah.
You know. If there's like a harsh crackdown or something like that, then obviously that's going to pose a bit of an issue. So if we get to that point, there is the distinct possibility that you might get some episodes where Jeff and I are smoking different cigars. Hopefully it's not me smoking a nice cigar and Jeff just having a quorum every single time. But, I mean, we'll see. I did bring him his bag of cigars from the Kansas City Cigar Festival. So,
and there's some good sticks in there.
And there's some good stuff in there.
He'd been holding that in his humidor for me.
So, you know, theoretically, he's at least got some good stuff there that he could hang on to.
Oh, I got some good ones in the humidor.
Well, that's true.
I had some good sticks in there.
But anyway, so just wanted to let you know that we're going to try and continue to do our best to make sure that we get episodes out throughout this because, again, this is the point in time that everybody needs quality entertainment.
Or us.
Or what we're giving.
Exactly.
You know? But the point is, you need something to take your mind off of everything.
Diversion.
So, yes. So we're going to keep at it, and we'll figure out all sorts of different creative ways to do so. But I just want to let everyone know that may result in some episodes where, like, Jeff's by phone or something like that.
Yeah.
So We'll figure it out.
We'll power through.
We will prevail.
I don't know about that. I'm pretty much ready to get in the bunker, so I can't wait to show you the
reception
bunker.
in the bunker, though?
No.
Oh, well, shit.
No, you're not going to have to worry about a Wi-Fi password in the bunker.
Well, that's problematic for getting a podcast out.
You're just going to have to get on the ladder and climb out.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
But that's when the mutants can get me.
Because when I pull the seal over the top of it, yeah, we're kind of there.
Well, that's problematic. So, anyway. Well, folks.
It'll withstand a nuclear blast.
This is... This has been another sermon from the cigar pulpit.
Isn't that good to know?
I'm Nick.
I'm Gator.
That's Gator. Take it easy.
This has been fun. I bet people should say smoky.
Yeah. Oh, God. I was literally getting ready to say, take it easy and stay smoky. And then he goes and tramples the line.
That's what I do.